actually been doing tabletop scenarios about the worst things that can happen with deepfakes. And I thought the one you did recently was fascinating. Do you want to tell everybody about
Oh,
it?
sure. Yeah, that was a really fun exercise to put together. So for those of you who aren't familiar, tabletop is basically us guiding you through a cybersecurity scenario. And we work with your IR team to figure out, where there may be gaps in your policy or how your response actually looks. And the one that we put together recently, which was super fun to put together, was a basically just an AI augmented attack against you and your network. And
It was a
yeah,
deepfake extortion.
we started off like somebody takes over something like your social media, and then they create a deep fake of like your CEO as the example. And they either say something really salacious or they say something really offensive, or they say something about the business going under or something like that, something to foment like insecurity about the organization itself. And if you can't get access back to your social media, I mean, and if you can't like get the word out that that's not actually your CEO or something like that, I mean, that can have serious, serious consequences for your business.
Well, and this was inspired by what happened earlier this year with the SEC when they had their Twitter account takeover. I guess
Yeah.
technically their X account takeover. Because, of course,
Let's be honest, we all still
social,
call it Twitter.
I know, social media accounts, of course, are managed in some cases by groups of people. And sometimes corporate Facebook pages are
Mm.
managed by individual Facebook pages. And so it's certainly not out of the question that your social media accounts are high risk. They're at a
Yeah.
high risk for takeover. And now we're combining that with a deepfake threat. Or just imagine somebody makes a fake website that's similar to yours, or a fake YouTube channel that's similar to yours, and starts putting out deepfakes of your staff and your team, or emailing links to people. I mean, there's a real risk that deepfakes could affect your reputation, and I'm not sure that we're really prepared for that.
Oh no, it's a significant problem too. And I mean, deepfakes are so easy to make. We've shown a couple examples in previous webinars, and of course, we use them for tabletop exercises and other demonstrations. But I mean, if you've got a little tiny bit of your video on YouTube, or if there's even just like a picture of you on the internet, I mean, we can take a still frame and make that into a moving video of you talking. And to be perfectly frank,
So
unless you have a
creepy.
giant cheesy smile on your face, like the AI is pretty good about making you look, well, pretty much like you look.
We had a question from David on how do you detect deepfakes? And I actually want to bring it home right now.
Mhm.
How do you know we're not deepfakes? How do they know?
So if it was me looking,
Because I smacked
because
you.
you hit me, that's
Uh,
why.
no, we're interrupting each other. I think that
Yeah,
helps.
I think that helps. Also, I mean, there's ways that you can identify deepfakes right now, anyway. And this won't always be the case because they're going to get better. But right now, the big things you want to look for are like weird mouth movements or strange tones in the voice or like
Yes.
weird hand gestures and things like that. I mean, there are ways that you can tell when a video is fake. It's not a perfect technology, but I mean, it's getting there. So we're gonna have to watch out for that.
Thanks, Bradley. I'm glad you like the background. It's nice and toasty warm in here. No, just kidding. He wouldn't let me turn the heat on.
No, of course
I'm
not.
freezing. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think going forward, you're right. It's going to get hard. It's going to get really hard to detect deep fakes. And in a lot of cases, it's going to be the context around it. I'm hoping, for those of you who are really geeky out there, I'm hoping that we can start digitally signing things. And I know there's a big movement to do that, like digitally signing our content and integrating tools that will make that easy. But in the meantime, context is king, right? Where is this information coming from? Checking the URL, making sure it makes sense, doing callbacks to double check. And we didn't even talk about the other way that deepfake is going to affect us, which is scamming,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
Like, how do you think how do you think scammers are going to use deepfakes?
Oh, they already are. Like so okay. So there's a couple different ways that we can talk about this. One of them is going to be like scams directed at like the general public. And I mean, if you watch things like Facebook Reels or YouTube Shorts, or if you're on TikTok or anything like that, I mean, they're already there. There is a huge amount of advertising that happens that's all AI generated, and most of it is a scam. And a lot of it comes down to deepfakes. I mean, just recently we saw like what was it, Selena Gomez, we saw Hulk Hogan, we saw a bunch of other people doing like DeWalt drill giveaways and things like that. And it was entirely AI generated. What they were trying to do was get your credit card info. And it was successful. Like a lot of people fell for it. There was a Taylor Swift one that came out too. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna see that as kind of like the new normal when it comes to scam advertising. The other way, though, is going after your business. And when we talk about deepfakes going after your business, I mean, imagine somebody deepfaking like your CFO or someone like that. And then having a video call with someone inside your organization and authorizing like a
I mean,
$250,000 wire transfer or
that
something like that.
engineering company lost $25
Yeah.
million because someone deepfaked their CEO on video and
Mhm.
convinced a finance employee to make multiple wire
Yeah.
transfers. I mean, this is going to start happening, and scams that used to be text are going to have a voice component, and at some point, they're also going to have a video component.
No,
So,
they totally will. I mean, like we talked about this in our scams and fraud webinar with Ferrari.
yep, yeah,
Yeah,
check it out, October. And so we need to start doing callbacks. It's not just about detection, it's about like having processes where you expect that it's a fake and you go through and verify that it's legitimate instead of the reverse.
yeah.
That's going to be really hard for organizations like bank that have to verify customers. You might have customers that call loan officers on their cell phones and are used to getting, just getting a hold of somebody, making that transfer, and now they're going to have to go through some other additional layer of verification.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you should be doing that anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, again, check out our Adapting to AI Risks Essential Cybersecurity Program Updates handout that is in the Zoom chat. And you will see that we have communications and crisis management as one of the top things you need to think about this year because of the risk of deep fakes.
Mm.
So make sure you have your deep fake response plan. Make sure you're training your employees and that you have a public relations team that is prepared to put out a statement and prepared to handle deep fakes ahead of time. You might also have insurance that covers things like that as well. So check your cyber insurance, see if there's anything related to reputational damage that could potentially help you. A lot of times, having a PR company come in to help preserve your reputation is actually part of your coverage. So think about
Yeah,
that.
not a bad idea. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Again, this is Sherri Davidoff, CEO of LMG Security.
And I'm Matt Durrin, Director of Training and Research for LMG Security. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time. We would love to hear from you. You can reach us at info@lmgsecurity.com, find us on LinkedIn, or follow us on Twitter. Thanks again for joining, and we'll see you next time.